My child, guard the treasure of your heart and fix your gaze upon me alone, for the world bristles with voices eager to pull you away from the source of your strength. In every crowded room where opinions clash like cymbals, in every moment of doubt when fear whispers that my promises are too good to be true, in every temptation that seeks to lure you with fleeting pleasures or hollow accolades, stand firm, rooted in the truth that I am your unfailing refuge. When friends urge you down paths of compromise, when colleagues commend you for putting worldly gains above spiritual growth, when even those you love question your devotion because they cannot see the eternal inheritance awaiting you, do not waver. Remember that allegiance to me transcends every social convention and outlasts every passing trend. The applause of men falls silent, but the applause of heaven rings forever. In seasons of comparison, when you glance sideways at those who seem more gifted, more prosperous, more popular, let your heart recall that I have fashioned you uniquely, with a calling designed for your footsteps alone. Do not envy another's journey, for the footprints I left for them will not fit your feet. Instead, press into the path I have marked out for you, step by step, trusting that every detour is orchestrated by a loving hand to shape your character. When slander storms around you like a gale, when rumors seek to tarnish your testimony, refuse to engage in the mudslinging dance, rise above the fray by speaking only my name, by answering injustice with prayer, and by entrusting your vindication to me. Beware the subtle distractions of busyness, for the devil delights in filling your schedule with noble tasks that leave no room for quiet communion with me. So in the dawn's stillness and the hush of night's retreat, steal away to find me, even if only for a moment, and let my presence realign your priorities, refuel your passion, and recalibrate your vision. Do not sacrifice intimacy for activity, for the noise of ministry cannot substitute the voice of the Master. When criticism pierces your unwavering devotion, whether spoken out of ignorance or aimed to provoke you, clothe yourself in humility and gratitude. Thank me for the refining fire, ask me to reveal any hidden pride, and press on in obedience, knowing that my approval matters far more than the fleeting praise or disapproval of fallible hearts. Let every rebuke be a mirror, every compliment a reminder of my kindness, and every interaction an opportunity to manifest the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If you believe in His unfailing love and grace, drop a yes in the comments to declare your faith. And if our messages uplift and inspire you, we'd be grateful if you'd subscribe to join us on this journey of spreading God's Word. May His blessings overflow in your life. In the marketplace of ideas where skepticism sells itself as wisdom, where philosophies promise freedom but deliver bondage, anchor your soul in the unchanging foundation of my word. Meditate upon it day and night until its truth lights your way through every moral maze. When you encounter teachings that twist Scripture to justify sin or elevate human intellect above divine revelation, hold fast to the simplicity of the gospel, that I came to seek and to save the lost, that my grace is sufficient, and that faith in me transforms hearts from the inside out. Resist the pull of peer pressure by fixing your eyes on the eternal prize, the day when every tear will be wiped away, when every crooked place will be made straight, and when you will stand before me clothed in robes washed white by the blood of the Lamb. Let the promise of that coming glory embolden you to say no to anything that competes with your devotion, whether it be the pursuit of comfort, the desire for status, or the craving for approval, and to say yes to the path of self-denial, sacrificial love, and courageous witness. Should the world's distractions grow louder, still your spirit with this declaration: I will trust you, Lord. I will lean not on my own understanding. I will walk in obedience, whatever the cost. Then watch how the schemes of the enemy dissolve like mist before the rising sun of your faith, how the chains of distraction fall away when you lift a single, undivided candle of devotion high, and how the fragrance of your steadfast love for me draws weary souls into my kingdom. Stand firm, then, my child, unwavering, unshaken, unafraid. Let no distraction sever the lifeline that binds your heart to mine, for in that sacred connection you find peace that passes understanding, joy that defies circumstances, and a power that overcomes every obstacle. May your faith burn bright, a beacon in the darkness, guiding others to the one who is the way, the truth, and the life. Dear child, in the stillness of dawn's gentle light, and in the darkness of midnight's quiet hours, I stand with you, unseen yet unmistakably present, ready to cradle your fears in one hand and your hopes in the other, to whisper courage into the hollow places of your soul, and to breathe peace where turmoil once reigned. When the world's demands press upon your shoulders like a mountain too heavy to bear, feel the strength of my hand beneath your own, lifting you tenderly, guiding you onward. When doubt tugs at the corners of your mind and anxiety constricts your chest, lean into the warmth of my presence, for I am a refuge that never falters, the shelter that never collapses. In the laughter of joyous triumphs and in the silent tears of hidden sorrow, I stand beside you, never distant, never distracted, observing every tear as though it were the first, rejoicing over every victory as though it were your greatest. Should your heart leap at the news of unexpected blessing, I am there, sharing in your exhilaration. Should grief descend like a shroud and leave you gasping for breath, I am there, gathering each sob into my heart, and transforming your mourning into a mantle of comfort and hope. There is no valley so deep that my love cannot reach the bottom, no shadow so dark that my light cannot penetrate its gloom. When your feet falter on slippery stones of temptation, when the path seems obscured by thorns of confusion, my presence is the steady hand that steadies your step, my voice, the clarifying breath that cuts through the fog of indecision. In moments of temptation, when every lure screams louder than reason, remember that my spirit within you is stronger than every fleeting desire, that the power at work in you can crumble every stronghold erected against your holiness. Call upon me, and I will cloak you in integrity. Cry out for deliverance, and I will set you free, guiding each step along the narrow road that leads to life. Every heartbeat of yours echoes in the chambers of my heart, and every question you dare to whisper into the night sky I hear and answer, not always on your timetable or in your terms, but always in the fullness of perfect love. When prayers seem unanswered, consider that my timing weaves a tapestry of grace more beautiful than any thread you could choose. Trust that every moment of waiting is a moment in which I am preparing your heart, aligning the stars of circumstance to shine my promises into your horizon. On days when self-doubt crouches at the edge of your confidence, remind yourself that you are the work of my hands, created in my image, fashioned for a purpose that even the cosmos cannot diminish. I rejoice over you with uncontainable delight, singing songs of affirmation that no critic's voice can drown out. Let this song rise within you. I am loved, I am known, I am held, and watch how every lie that once shackled your identity dissolves before the authority of my truth. Through every season, spring's budding hope, summer's blazing joy, autumn's golden release, winter's silent retreat, I stand by you. In renewal, I breathe life into your weariness. In abundance, I satisfy the hunger of your soul. In letting go, I teach you the beauty of surrender. And in stillness, I whisper the promise of resurrection that lies beyond every tomb. Even in the coldest loneliness, my warmth surrounds you. Even in the hottest trial, my cooling stream refreshes you. And even when you cannot see the road ahead, my hand traces the map upon your heart, guiding you step by step. When fear demands that you look backward or sideways, I compel you to lift your gaze upward and forward, for the horizon of my purposes stretches beyond every sight line. Do not shrink from stepping into the unknown, for I go before you. I have charted the course, I have rolled away the stones, and I have prepared every place where you will tread. Your faith is not misplaced. It is anchored in a love that refused to stay dead in a tomb, that burst into a dawn brighter than any earthly sun, and that pursues you still with relentless devotion. If confusion besets you like a swarm of shadows, know that my word is a lantern set upon the path, illuminating each footfall with clarity. Meditate on it day and night, until its truths become the rhythm of your heartbeat. Commit its precepts to your spirit until every promise rings with the authority of a warrior's cry, dispelling every doubt that dares to linger. In this way, the Bible becomes not a dusty book on a shelf, but a living weapon wielded in the battlefield of your mind and soul. On the days when relationships fray and words wound like knives, my love tends the bleeding places, sealing every gash with forgiveness. I teach you to extend that same grace to others, to forgive 70 times 7, even when the tears of betrayal sting afresh, because in that act of mercy, you reflect my character and release your own heart from prison. When loneliness whispers that no one cares, I remind you that you are never alone. My spirit dwells within you, and my angels encamp around you. No foe is permitted to cross into the circle of my protection. In the sexuality of division that plagues communities, in the bitterness that poisons families, I stand as the bridge spanning every chasm. By my power, walls of hostility collapse, hatred melts before the fire of my love, and estranged hearts learn to beat in harmony as missionaries of reconciliation. Allow yourself to become a conduit of my peace, speaking words that bind wounds and sharing actions that sow unity, so that the world may see my presence in you. When physical ailments drain your strength and the body groans under its frailty, my word declares that I bore your sicknesses and carried your pains. Call upon the healing virtue of my sacrifice. Believe that by my stripes you are healed, and let that truth saturate your mind until the cells of your spirit resonate with health and wholeness. If my healing does not come in the way you expect, rest in the knowledge that my love remains constant, that my purposes remain good, and that even the thorn in your flesh can be used to display my grace in ways deeper than mere physical restoration. As you tread the professional arenas where success is measured by human metrics, I remind you that your true value is determined not by titles or income, but by the bowels of compassion you show and the righteousness you pursue. Serve with humility, lead with integrity, and labor as though laboring for me. In doing so, you will find that the rewards I bestow are far greater than any earthly accolade. When you sense the end of days drawing near, the rumblings of upheaval, the tremors of uncertainty, remember that I have overcome the world, and in me you are more than conquerors. Do not be terrified by the trumpet blasts of the last hour, for I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, holding every moment in the palm of my hand. Your role in this final drama is not to cower but to shine as stars in the darkest sky, illuminating the way for weary pilgrims longing for home. In every joyful celebration, in the laughter of children, the vows of marriage, the birth of new life, I stand with you, delighting in the beauty of creation restored. In every solemn rite, in funerals that bid farewell, farewells that break the heart, I stand with you, whispering promises of reunion in a land where sorrow and death are forever banished. Should you ever question my commitment, remember the cross. A tree of shame turned into a throne of victory, the symbol of defeat that became the banner of redemption. There in that darkest moment I proved that there is no depth I will not plunge, no height I will not scale, no eternity I will not span to secure you. So take heart, dear one. In every hesitation, in every triumph, in every breath you draw, my presence is your constant companion. My righteousness is your clothing, my peace your pillow, my joy your song, and my love your everlasting home. Walk boldly then into each moment, every mundane chore, every celestial wonder, knowing that I stand beside you, within you, and before you, now and forevermore. Feel the steady rhythm of my love beating within your soul, ever present, unwavering, even when life's currents pull you in 100 directions, even when doubts murmur that you have been forgotten. Know that my affection for you neither falters nor fades. From the first breath you took to every breath that fills your lungs this moment, my love has been the constant atmosphere surrounding you, silent yet palpable, gentle yet unbreakable, reaching into every corner of your heart with tender compassion. In the joyous mornings when hope blooms like flowers after spring rain, my love dances in the sunlight upon your face, inviting you to rejoice in its warmth. In the long afternoons when overwhelm threatens to drown your spirit, my love settles over you like a cool breeze beneath the shade of ancient oaks, reminding you that rest is not a luxury but a gift I freely offer. In the quiet nights when loneliness whispers its lies, my love becomes the lamp beside your bed, its glow dispelling the darkness, its promise echoing, you are never alone. When the laughter of friends lifts your heart high into the heavens, my love celebrates with you, rejoicing in every note of joy. When disappointment crashes in like thunderstorm winds and you feel the sting of unmet expectations, my love remains your unshakable shelter, its walls built of grace, its foundation laid in faithfulness. No storm can breach its ramparts, no trial can erode its stones, for it is fashioned from the very essence of who I am, constant, steadfast, eternal. At the crossroads of every decision, when competing voices clamor for your allegiance, let my love be the lodestar that guides your steps. Rather than seeking counsel in the world's shifting whims, turn inward to the beat of my heart and find clarity in the whisper. I have called you by name, and I am with you always. Let that assurance steady your mind, align your will, and empower you to choose the path of truth, even when it is the narrow one. In the rush of busyness that tempts you to sacrifice communion for productivity, my love pulls you aside for moments of sacred stillness. Inhale deeply of my presence. Exhale the tension that knots your shoulders. These pauses are not wasted seconds, but lifelines thrown into the raging sea of activity, anchoring you in what matters most. Remember, productivity without love is hollow, but love invested in every task transforms the ordinary into the holy. When sorrow's tide washes over you and tears fall like rain upon a parched land, my love gathers each drop, weaving them into streams of healing that carve new pathways in your heart. No grief is too deep for my compassion, no wound too raw for my gentle hands. In the broken places where you ache most, my love stitches beauty into the seams, turning fractures into facets that catch the light of my redemption and reflect it back into the world. As years unfold and seasons change, childhood's wonder giving way to youth's passion, youth's fervor yielding to adulthood's responsibility, adulthood's wisdom ripening into the quiet reflection of later days, my love remains the unchanging backdrop to every chapter of your story. It is not confined to memory's golden hours nor limited to future dreams. It is the present constant, filling each moment with grace, sanctifying each breath with purpose. When you feel unworthy, burdened by past mistakes, or haunted by roads not taken, let my love speak louder than your insecurities. For I do not tally up your failures. I count your tears, I treasure your longing, and I offer forgiveness more lavishly than you can imagine. My love does not demand perfection. It delights in your humble return and transforms your contrite heart into a living altar of praise. In triumphs, do not rest on your own strength, but recognize my love as the enabling force behind every achievement. In trials, do not despair, but recall that my love sustains you through every weakness, that my power rests upon those who lean entirely on me. Whether you soar on eagle's wings or trudge through desert sands, my love remains the constant wind beneath your wings, the oasis that refreshes your journey, the compass that never fails. Let this truth settle into your bones. A love that changes not with circumstances, that ebbs not when emotions wane, that stays when everything else slips away. It is the everlasting covenant I have written upon your heart, the promise sealed by nail-scarred hands and crowned by an empty tomb. Whenever you doubt its reality, look back on every moment it carried you, through laughter and tears, through sunrise and sunset, through every breath you have ever drawn, and know, without question, that this constant and unchanging love is available to you in every moment. Child, when the ground beneath you trembles with the roar of uncertainty and the winds of fear batter your soul, know that love stands ready as a refuge, an unshakable fortress in which your heart can find shelter. In the swirling tempest of questions that have no answers, what will tomorrow bring? How will I overcome this trial? Where will I find hope when all seems lost? Love is the stronghold that calms the storm, the embrace that whispers, "You are safe." Even when darkness gathers like a ravenous storm cloud on the horizon, love casts its radiant light deep into the shadows, illuminating the path and reminding you that no night is so deep that morning's dawn cannot break through. When anxiety wraps around your thoughts like chains forged from worry, love breathes freedom into your lungs. It speaks in the quiet recesses of your mind. "Cast your cares upon me, for I care for you." And as you surrender those burdens, You feel the sweet release that comes when a weight is lifted, the arms of love cradling each fearful thought, turning knots of dread into whispers of peace. In this sacred refuge, your heartbeat slows, your breath deepens, and the terror that once threatened to consume you is exchanged for a serenity that transcends circumstances. Even as the world spins in unpredictable rhythms, economies faltering, relationships fraying, health wavering, love remains the constant pivot upon which your soul can turn. It is the anchor thrown into the deep waters of uncertainty, securing you against the currents that would otherwise sweep you away. When news arrives that shatters your expectations, when plans crumble like ancient ruins under the pressure of unforeseen events, love does not abandon you. Instead, it stretches out to catch every falling fragment of hope and rebuilds from rubble a sanctuary of trust. In moments of loneliness, when friends are distant, when social masks conceal true hearts, when isolation presses against your ribs like a silent suffocation, love draws near as a companion without pretense. It reminds you that even if the whole world turns its back, you are never truly alone. Invisible yet undeniable, love's presence is like a hearth fire in an empty room. You cannot see the flame itself, but you feel its warmth, hear its crackle, and know it is there sustaining you through the long night. When fear takes the form of what if, and casts grotesque shadows of worst-case scenarios on the walls of your mind, love dismantles every projection with the power of its promises. It points you to unbreakable vows. I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Perfect love casts out all fear. All things work together for good. Each promise is a brick in the fortress of faith, each declaration a fortified rampart against the siege of doubt. As you meditate on these truths, fear's arrows bounce harmlessly off the ramparts of love, and you stand sheltered, heart emboldened by the steadfast assurances that love provides. During seasons of loss, when a cherished dream dies, when grief's torrent threatens to drown you, when the tears flow like rivers with no end in sight, love becomes the refuge where healing begins. It collects every tear in vessels of compassion, washing over wounded places until they are cleansed and made whole. In the quiet moments when you wonder how you will endure one more day, love speaks again. I am close to the brokenhearted. I save those crushed in spirit. And in its tender sanctuary, your mourning finds expression. Your brokenness is cradled, and even the deepest wounds begin to knit together into a tapestry of grace. As storms of injustice and oppression rage around you, when evil seems to triumph, when the innocent suffer, when cruelty wears a mocking grin, love stands not as a passive bystander but as an unyielding fortress of hope. It rallies the downtrodden, upholds the victim, and reminds the oppressed that their story is not forgotten. Within love's refuge, you join a chorus of voices declaring, "Hold on, this too shall pass," and you become an instrument of justice, courage, and mercy. Love here is both shield and sword. It protects the vulnerable and strikes down fear with the power of compassion. In the landscape of your inner world, where regret's ghosts roam, where guilt's claws leave scars, where shame whispers that you are unworthy, love is the sanctuary that welcomes prodigals home. It does not hold a ledger of your failures, nor does it demand repayment for past mistakes. Instead, love extends an open hand, saying, "Come as you are forgiven, you are restored, you are mine." In that refuge, your identity is reclaimed, your spirit revived, and your future brightened by the light of unconditional acceptance. When the future looms like an uncharted wilderness, terrifying in its unknowns and vast in its possibilities, love serves as your faithful guide, marking each step with footprints of care. It whispers encouragement when you cannot see the next footfall, and it clears the path of stumbling blocks you cannot yet perceive. Trusting in love's leadership, you navigate uncertainty with confidence, knowing that every twist and turn is held within the compass of divine intention. Let love's refuge be more than a one-time shelter. Let it be the continuous dwelling where your spirit resides. Build your life within its walls through daily acts of prayer, moments of gratitude, and choices rooted in compassion. When life's storms arise, and they will, run back to this refuge. Tuck your heart behind its gates, find your solace in its courts, and emerge refined, strengthened, and ready to face whatever comes next. In every heartbeat, in every breath, in every whisper of your soul, love is the steadfast refuge that you can claim. No matter how fierce the storm, how dark the night, or how uncertain the road ahead, love's sanctuary remains open, its arms outstretched, its safety assured. Enter in, rest, and remember, here in this refuge of love you are eternally secure. Dear one, you were never meant to walk this journey alone. When your spirit longs for understanding and your heart aches for companionship, reach out to those who share your deepest convictions, for in fellowship you discover the strength to persevere. Seek out kindred souls who delight in truth, who treasure compassion above convenience, and who sharpen your character as iron sharpens iron. In moments of joy, celebrate together until your laughter becomes a chorus of gratitude. In seasons of struggle, shoulder one another's burdens until sorrow is replaced by hope. And in times of uncertainty, speak the words of promise over each other until faith blooms anew. When you gather in community, let humility guide every conversation, listen more than you speak, value honesty over flattery, and confess your doubts as freely as you share your victories. For it is in the rawness of vulnerability that bonds are forged and trust takes root. Share the story of how grace met you in your darkest hour. Let your testimony ignite courage in another's heart. Encourage one another with simple acts. A handwritten note of affirmation, a timely text to remind someone they're not forgotten, the warm cup of tea when the world feels cold. These small gestures become conduits of divine love, reminding every soul that they are seen, known, and cherished. Cultivate circles where prayer flows freely, where tears are met with tender prayers and praises rise like incense. In these sacred gatherings, you invite heaven's presence into your midst. Burdens are lifted, chains are broken, and joy is multiplied. When you pray for one another's needs, you weave a tapestry of intercession that spans beyond your own life, linking your hopes and fears to the heartbeat of God. Remember, every petition prayed in unity carries greater power, releases stronger healing, and releases a flood of mercy into fertile soil. Honor integrity in your relationships by speaking truth with gentleness and grace. Confront sin with love, restore a wandering soul with compassion, and rejoice when repentance brings renewal. Let forgiveness flow without restraint. Do not tally wrongs or keep a ledger of offenses, but rather let every offense be washed away by the river of grace. In doing so, you mirror the reconciliatory work of Christ, who not only forgave your deepest failures, but also invited you into an unbreakable fellowship with Him and with one another. Be intentional about gathering across generations, cultures, and backgrounds, for diversity enriches the body of Christ. Listen carefully to the wisdom of those whose footsteps preceded yours, and offer your fresh insight to those just starting their journey. When you break bread together, whether in a simple potluck or a grand celebration, you embody the banquet of heaven where every tribe and tongue finds a place of honor. Celebrate differences as gifts, not threats, and let unity and purpose overcome every barrier. In times of decision, lean on the collective counsel of your peers, those who know your character, who have walked with you through similar trials, and who pray for your discernment. Invite accountability into your life. Share your goals and struggles, and allow trusted friends to speak into your choices. In doing so, you protect your heart from pride's deception and ensure that every step aligns with the narrow path of righteousness. When you stumble, let them help you up. When you waver, let them steady your feet. And when you soar, let them rejoice with exuberant praise. Let generosity be the currency of your fellowship. Share not only your resources, but also your talents, time, and encouragement. Offer a listening ear to the weary. Volunteer your hands to build up others. Bless those in need with whatever you have, knowing that in giving, you reflect the heart of the one who gave everything for you. As you pour out, you will find your own cup overflowing, and your community will flourish in the abundant soil of sacrificial love. Make space for celebration and remembrance. Mark milestones with joyful gatherings. Commemorate answered prayers with testimonies, and honor those who have been faithful by sharing stories of how God moved through their obedience. In these moments, faith is ignited in the next generation, and the thread of divine faithfulness weaves a tapestry that spans across time. When loneliness creeps in, seek out fellowship rather than retreat. When you feel misunderstood, venture into honest conversation rather than harbor resentment. And when discouragement presses upon you, let your brothers and sisters rally around you with declarations of hope until your spirit is restored. In mutual encouragement, your individual faith is strengthened, and the collective body rises to new heights of love and service. Remember that community is not merely a gathering of like-minded individuals, but the manifestation of the Spirit at work, binding hearts together with cords of love that cannot be broken. As you invest in relationships, you participate in a divine partnership. You bring your authentic self, and God brings transformation. Through shared worship, prayer, service, and celebration, you become living witnesses of the gospel's power to unite and heal. So step out in faith and connect with those who hold fast to values of integrity, compassion, and truth. Build circles of mutual support where every voice matters, every story is valued, and every heart is tenderly encouraged. In this fellowship, you will find a wellspring of strength to face each day, a sanctuary of love to cradle your soul, and a chorus of faith to propel you toward your divine destiny. If this blessing has touched your soul, please bless us in return with a like, and think about subscribing. Your support helps us continue to share these messages of love and light. Invite others to join our family, and let's walk this journey of faith together.